Hello everybody, it's tax season as you all very well know, and like every real American, I wait until the very last minute and then I panic as I try to get everything filed before the deadline ends, so that's patriotism right there. So yeah, I'm a little busy here right now, so I will talk to you guys later. You know what? This is less annoying than doing taxes anyway. Well, I might as well talk about some trash, since I'm in the trash.
Kill everyone now! Condone first-degree murder! Advocate cannibalism! Eat shit!
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Trash Reviews, where I take a look at the trashier side of cinema. Today we're looking at a movie that I saw pretty recently, and I thought this was the best way to talk about this film. It's a tribute to old shot-on-video horror movies, and that is Night of the Zodiac. I very recently began to dive into shot-on-video horror movies, because you all know I love to support low to micro-budget horror films, and this was a genre that I was very unfamiliar with. I've only seen a few movies in this particular branch of no-budget cinema: video violence, which I love, LA Age Jabber, which I found kinda disappointing, Alabama Sasquatch, a 2012 tribute to shot-on-video horror movies that I did not like at all, and then I came across Night of the Zodiac, a 2022 tribute to shot-on-video horror movies, and I gotta say, I loved this movie. I love the effort that the filmmakers put into this film, despite the fact that they had no budget.
This is my worst footage yet. You can't even see the saw, and then when I do kill him, it looks like he's just humping the ground. I couldn't even sneak up on this guy, right? The Zodiac would have known how to do this if he'd ever call me.
The plot is pretty interesting and very original when you think about it, especially for a movie that has little to no budget. We follow this aspiring filmmaker named Richard Gans, who's obsessed with shot-on-video horror movies. But he's down on his luck, he's having a hard time finishing a film project. But one day, he's contacted by who we're told is the aging Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac recruits Richard to make him a film, essentially making a modern-day film about the killing spree of the Zodiac. Basically, what he wants is for Richard to become the new Zodiac Killer and continue his legacy. And of course, the way to do this is for Richard to actually murder people on camera.
Have one of these?
Now, this is a no-budget movie, so the gore scenes are pretty cheap, but I do still have to give it to this film for working with what they have. And the idea is very interesting. A former serial killer that was never caught, taking on an apprentice in a way. You have to give this film credit for originality. Now, what we have here at its core is a tribute to the shot-on-video horror movies of the 80s and 90s. And while I have heard that there are tributes to other shot-on-video horror movies in this movie, I'm not familiar with the genre, so I did not notice them. But Night of the Zodiac does what a proper tribute movie should do, just making a movie in the genre that you are making a tribute to. Night of the Zodiac does tribute to shot-on-video horror movies, by just making a good shot-on-video horror movie. Let me just remind you, I am not familiar with shot-on-video horror movies, but I would like to be more familiar with shot-on-video horror movies, so take whatever knowledge I have with a grain of salt. But this is still a well-done movie, made with very little money. The movie is interesting throughout the runtime, mainly because of the character Richard Gantz. This is a guy who's driven by sheer ambition. This is a man who wants some kind of fame and notoriety, and he doesn't care how he gets it, whether it's through film or actually murdering people. That's what makes this movie kind of fascinating. He finds out that he can get more notoriety from killing people rather than making movies. And it's not even fame that he can really share with people. True, he can show this movie around, but he's continuing the legacy of the real Zodiac Killer. So, he can't really tell anybody who he is.
Alright, burrito boy, get ready for the slam! Oh yeah!
But when the killing gets going, he gets more fame than he ever could have hoped for.
It's been over a week with no crazy murders or Zodiac sightings. Z, if you're out there, I'm rooting for you.
This being a modern-day shot-on-video film done by amateur filmmakers, to say the least, the acting isn't the best, and the filmmaking is a bit shoddy because they had little to no resources, but the amount of effort put into this, how interesting the story is, makes this well worth a watch. And the actor playing Richard gives such an over-the-top performance with so much effort put into it, you can't help but be entertained by it.
It's not that bad for no budget. It's low tech. It's no tech. I've seen worse than this. I've seen worse movies than this. I know I have. It's that kid. It's that kid I killed. She fucked up the entire thing, that fucking bitch! I hate kids.
I think the main thing that makes this movie so fascinating is the fact that they used the Zodiac Killer, a killer who was never caught. I don't know if it would work as well if they just created a serial killer for this movie. There are so many myths and legends created around criminals who were never caught. D.B. Cooper, Jack the Ripper. Is this movie in bad taste because it takes inspiration from an actual serial killer? Yeah, I can agree with that. This movie is in bad taste, but I don't think it's in bad taste in a bad way. It never exploits any of the victims who were involved in the Zodiac killings. It just takes inspiration from the Zodiac Killer to make this movie. I put it in the same category as something like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. That movie took inspiration from an actual killer but made its own thing out of it. Didn't really make a movie about Henry Lee Lucas. Night of the Zodiac does take inspiration from the Zodiac, but creates its own story, does its own narrative.
He shoots! He guards!
I had a feeling I was going to like this movie, but I had no idea I was going to love this movie as much as I did. It made me want to continue this journey into shot-on-video horror movies, and I think it'll do the same for you. And I think it'll also make you want to get up and make your own little no-budget horror movie, because making no-budget horror movies is so much fun. Night of the Zodiac is a cheap movie, but it's cheap in a good way, in a charming way, in a way that you can't help but admire. This is a movie that does something with nothing, and I have to give it credit for that. Thank you all for joining me in another episode of Trash Reviews. I'm glad people seem to be enjoying this weird series, and if you'd like to continue to support me being a weirdo, please like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. It does truly mean a lot to me. I hope you're all having a good day, or at least continuing to have a good day, and when I eventually get out of here, I guess I better get started on my taxes. You know what? I think I'd rather be in the trash can.